Alright, hello everyone. I was actually on time for a change. Well, within the 10 minutes that I set aside. But that still counts. I'm just getting YouTube set up here in the background, which is basically done. Does feel a bit weird streaming on a Thursday, though, I must admit. It's not the weekend. I've already done a full day of work. But what a day. What a day. Just getting the last bits up and running. Boop. Over to the main screen. And camera. Let's just get that fixed. Many hours of streaming today. Yeah, that's true. 4 hours at the office. And now probably another 2 or 3 this evening. We shall see how my voice holds out. Maybe I should have made myself some tea. I wasn't going to initially. Huzzah! You know what? I think I'm going to put the kettle on. Just unmuted. Shouldn't be. Am I muted? Not muted. Okay, so it was in fact Carnita. Cool. So, what was I saying? Right, I was going to make some tea. I'll be right back. You can enjoy the background in the meantime. Huzzah! I am apparently a dum-dum and had already boiled the water. I'm going to make some tea. Okay, tea supplies got. All is well with the world again. Huzzah! Huzzah! We are getting a bunch of subscriptions coming in. Assassin 1952, thank you very much. Larsman coming in with a 25-month resub as well. McHappy Face coming in with a 34, thank you very much for that. Crazy Tom with a 15-month. Are we going to surrender this time? I honestly don't know. Let's see how the AI does. Hopefully I'm a bit better set up this time around. I'm also going to turn in-game music on. That would probably be a good idea. Although, you heard it already in the intro. But man, I love the music that they've added with this. That we've added with this. It feels weird to say that still. Even after 3.5 years. Okay, so we're going to do a single player, we're going to do a new game, we're going to select the scenario, and we're going to do the Philippines! And yes, you are probably going to see quite a lot of the Philippines. So there we go. We are playing as Manuel Quezon. He is the democratic leader of the Philippines, was from the start of this period, 1935, through until 1944 when he unfortunately died, while he was still in exile in the United States. In 1935, the United States had finally agreed to a peaceful transition to independence over a 10-year period. The Philippines is still early in the process, but is now increasingly in control of its own destiny. Will they maintain links to the US, or instead to seek out foreign support to expedite the process towards freedom? The Philippines looks towards a prosperous future, but there are sharks already circling this fledgling nation. So we start with the island nation, which gives us the convoy speed while retreating and visibility, so our shipping should be pretty secure. The Great Depression, which is pretty harsh. And then the Philippine Army, which is arguably even harsher. But we do have a couple of tools under our belts that we can call upon. So Philippines, we'll do historical, because I am myself going to play on historical. This is the new map. New, but it has been updated. Philippines have got a new state. China has a bunch of additional warlords going on over there. Singapore is now its own state. And there are little tweaks here and there, as we very often do. Iron Man? Certainly not. What do you think I am, an achievement hunter? With my 3,324 hours in this game and 0 out of 266 achievements? Although I must admit, one of these days I'm going to be brave enough to do an achievement run to get one achievement, and only one. And the scary thing about this is I would have basically one shot to do it, which would be, of course, it's just good business. I do kind of want to get that one, but I would have to do it where I can only get that one. I can't unlock any other achievements, and that in itself would be a challenge. Close down the browser now it's back. Maybe I have the tab muted. Yeah, you can. If you right-click on the tab itself, you can mute tabs. Larsman, gifting a sub to Blue Kiwi. Thank you very much for that, Larsman. Congratulations on the gift to sub, Blue Kiwi. So I don't know how many of you saw the Paradox stream earlier. Multiplayer, playing as the Philippines. We did decide to go communist. And I do want to do communist again. I'll probably do it over the weekend. Because I wasn't 100% sure how long I would stream today. You know what? I forgot to do something. I was going to put on the Philippine music. It is... No, it's not at the end. There it is. Sanctuary of Hope. There we go. Put us in the mood. So we're going to start with the Commonwealth of the Philippines. Established just a year ago, the Commonwealth of the Philippines is the first step towards an independent Philippines, promised by the United States to be a 10-year transitional period. There is still much to do, and many decisions to make to get our nascent nation up and running properly. So this will give us some political power gain back, and also construction. We are also going to build a bunch of infrastructure, starting with the coal province, the steel province, another coal province, chromium province, and then just in order of size. And then we're going to reduce all of the provinces in Luzon and all of the provinces in Mindanao because we get free infrastructure for those. Try to keep that nice and simple. We're going to get construction, and we're going to get research, which I forgot to do today. Oh man, I made so many mistakes. Like, streaming on an official Paradox stream while also trying to talk to chat and doing multiplayer, it's not easy. Especially because I was one of the few nations that was actually going to be competitive against another player. Another player playing one of the strongest nations in the game on their own content, which they've just spent a year familiarizing themselves with.
Attention.
Let's grab you. Let's go and get Magsese. Can't make you a field marshal just yet, so we'll just leave that alone. We will, however, get you training until this time. It went very well, and it was fun to watch. At least it was enjoyable, and at least we did get to see, the locked part of the tree, the subject surrender part, and it is playable. It is very playable. All right, let's speed 5, and off we go. Have a certain percentage of faction manifest. Ooh, new achievement thing. Weaver, with my 3% influence. So we have expand the Guam naval base and industrial expansion. I do kind of wish that there was a way that we could get this a little bit more easily, because the joint research stuff is nice, especially because we get a bonus to it from here, and because we do start with a scientist, Emma Rotor, who was really cool. If you didn't hear me talk about her previously, she was one of the primary people behind the proximity fuse, which was probably one of the most impactful technologies that not many people know about, but it's part of the reason why Allied anti-air was so effective is because of proxy fuses. Like the shells would detect when something was nearby and it would blow up, whereas the German ones just had to basically fill the air with lead. She was also on the Manhattan Project. So yeah, kind of important. Right, onwards. So my plan now is to go fully loyalist to the United States. We're going to go peg peso to dollar, Hacendado, Nationality Act. We'll do the USAFI things. We might even try to get the United States Asiatic Fleet. I'm not 100% sure on that yet. And we'll probably try to get a navy, but probably not go full navy like I would with the communists. Desert Paradox should make it so you can get that earlier. Maybe that Gareth guy. Well, we wanted to close it off so that people were introduced to the faction stuff more gradually, rather than just saying, you have all of these tabs, go. It's more like you start with the goals, use the goals to unlock the faction research and the faction military operations. That's how it goes. Right, so we're getting the manpower. We're not getting manpower, we have manpower. We are building the convoy. No, we haven't actually unlocked new guns yet.
Attention.
And we have you training to get us a tiny bit of experience. The militarization of the Rhineland. There we go. Commonwealth of the Philippines is done. Now we need to make a choice. Do we align ourselves with the United States or with Japan? This time around, we're going to go pro-USA. The United States of America has proven to be a benevolent and wealthy overlord. By bringing our nations closer, there is much yet that they can do for us in order to speed up our development and ensure our protection. So from this we get some more political power gain, we get -10 consumer goods, and we also reduce the time needed for the Focused National Defense Act. What on earth does that mean? Well, over here we have the National Defense Act, which is required to get most of the military stuff. It is 245 days long. It is the longest focus in the game at this point. However, by completing things like align with USA and peg the peso to the dollar or leverage the peso, basically any of these milestones, it will reduce the time it takes to do the National Defense Act. So it's a bit of a balancing thing. You can go military right from the start if you absolutely want to. Totally legitimate way of playing. Or you can try to get through all of the economic stuff, and it will only be 35 days once you've completed one of these two. Also completely legitimate. Or you can do it sometime in between, because each of these reduces it by 70 days, 35 days, 35 days. So I'd say probably the earliest you want to do it is after these. I usually do it after one of these, but it is totally feasible to do it after these. Turkey remilitarizes Turkish Straits. It's fine. And we have our 3 factories building Zamboanga, which is our coal mine. Aligning with Japan works so well. I know, right? If only you could align yourself with somebody a bit more neutral. That would be nice. Unfortunately, that is not the state of being stuck between 2 major competing powers. Let's get mechanical computing to get some more research. As long as you manage to gain independence from the US before, say, 2015, you should be okay. Here's hoping. I mean, they promised me a 10-year transitionary period, so hopefully by 1946 we'll get independence. There we go, we have aligned ourselves to the United States, which has the important effect of giving me MIOs now. So we are going to go ahead and use Springfield, and we're going to use, actually, let's just switch out you for the Springfield and have Springfield produce you, so we start getting funding for it. Okay, I think we probably want to peg the peso to the dollar and then do the American capital injection. Do I want to do that one immediately? Because that's going to unlock the investment plan, which, yes, will give me civilian factories, but I also kind of want to use it to gain bonuses throughout the rest of my country. So we probably actually want to try to just get a couple more factories first, and then we'll do this. Our currency should be bound to the US dollar as a determination of its value. This gives our currency a real basis in value and provides a reliable foundation to establish trade. Bolivian Socialist Revolution. we do have a surplus of guns. Let's go ahead and just start training up some more scout divisions. Scout divisions look a bit different because they are in fact forest troops, or jungle troops technically. Philippines and also Belgium starts with these, although I think Belgium you're going to have to wait until early next week because we couldn't get the translations in on time. But the Philippines you do start with the Rangers. So there you go. And I was also going to use my Air Force, or rather I was going to disband my Air Force and sell the planes, even if they do look kind of funky. Yes, Australia, you may have my planes. I'm also going to automate planes. Thank you. What makes a man neutral? Lust for gold, power, or just born with a heart of neutrality? I know that's a quote from something, but I can't place it right now. Any chance I can increase the size of the UI? It's almost unreadable. Really? I don't think it's changed from my usual streams. Probably not. Oh, I have to restart. I don't really want to do that. Are any of the rest of you struggling with UI size? This doesn't feel small. This feels normal for my streams. Because I always think that the way UI is quite clunky anyway.
All in.
It does seem small. I think I'm playing it at a different resolution unless these settings have changed. Ah. No, it was borderless. Borderless is what I usually do. Alright, let's try it. Let's move it up to 1.2 and give it a go. Save, so I don't need to restart. Right, bear with me. Let's give it a try. It does look smaller. Okay. And while that is loading, I'm going to go and grab myself another bottle of water because this one's empty. Back in a minute. You guys love the fact that you know my first name now, don't you? Maybe Gareth changed something with the DLC. Sounds like something he would do. Classic Gareth. Alright. Single player. Load. Ooh, this feels huge. This does actually feel a bit more normal. Oh man, it looks so ugly. Like you can see the anti-aliasing. I'm going to do one down. I'm not going to make it 1.2. I'll do 1.1. And play. Play. Really enjoying the updates and the expansion so far. Great work. Thank you. I appreciate that. I do know a lot of people were surprised that I was wearing glasses during the stream. And that's because in the stream studio, we have one of those like ridiculous widescreen monitors. Like it's absurd. It's like the length of my wall. And we had chat on the far end of it. And instead of just squinting all day, as I had been during previous streams, I thought, you know what, I'll just wear glasses. Problem solved. And then I'll be able to actually see what chat's saying. Alright. Actually, this feels more normal. So I guess we had the UI on 1.1 before. I just had forgotten about this. Alright, and we're back in. Onwards! Is this better? Alright, construction 1. Don't think I want to start construction 2 just yet. Let's do basic machine tools. Although one of the things I totally forgot during the stream is... which one is it? This one. National Fiscal Policy gives research bonuses for industry, and I use those really badly. So I think I need to use those a bit better in the future. That goes out to the dollar. Is done. So now let's do Quezon City for the extra civilian factories, and then we'll make some more decisions from there. I didn't read that out. Manila has served us well as a capital, however it's still stifled by severe problems such as overcrowding, lack of housing, poor sanitation and congestion. What we need is a city planned from the start to serve as the capital, and while this will take years, if not decades, to construct and develop, we should begin now and reap the rewards for our foresight later. And this is true. Quezon City was initially founded during this period. Should get some naval binoculars with fit the theme. And we could get a industrial concern. One thing we probably should have done during the stream was use the South Seas Development Company. It is quite good and it's only 50, but I think I'm going to save up for Marsman and Company. It's my usual go-to. And we are still recruiting those guys. That's fine. Going to wait until we have 150. Then either we'll get the industrial concern or we'll get a political advisor. Although the downside to Marsman and Company is he does not come with resource research bonuses. The industrial research speed, rather. So South Seas does have its advantages, but you can only do that if you go and leverage the peso and encourage Japanese investment, which we haven't. Ethiopia has capitulated. Oh. Sometime in 37 or 38 we'll do the USAFI stuff to get Eisenhower. Until then we want to just continue building up basically. Let's get the consumer goods factor. We have 150, so let's get Marsman and Company. Communist China is doing one of their border wars against Ningxia. Playing PRC and trying to expand through border wars and stuff is actually kind of a fun way to play. A lot of their early game stuff is land raids, so you're raiding your neighbours to try and get equipment and bonuses and things. Chinese United Front is formed. Chiang Kai-shek and Zhang Tian have issued a joint announcement declaring that they have set aside their differences in the face of a Japanese attack. A whole bunch of people joined it. Good stuff. Zamboanga's got his first level of infrastructure. There we go, the agricultural migrants have gone to Hawaii. I also didn't read this. A number of Filipino workers have found good fortune working for American farmers in Hawaii, which would encourage this immigration so that they can continue to send money back to their families back at home and thus grow our economy. So if you get the Quezon City campus to gain that research slot, that does count towards one of the 5 focuses we need. So basically to progress down the economic tree, we need to complete 5 of these to get to this line, then 5 of these to get to this line, and 4 of these, and then bam, independence. And this is diplomatic independence. USA is like, cool, you're no longer a colony. And you can choose whether you want to stay with the Americans in their faction or not. Hey, Fraser. Can't believe you spent 4 hours playing Philippines this afternoon, back at it again. What can I say? It's a great focus tree. Whoever made this is an absolute genius. Right, so... Stability, war support. I don't think we really need that yet. Construction speed is always nice. And this does come with the research bonuses. Am I going to need those now? Yes, basically. Begin. I'm sure Gareth will be humbled by that compliment. This is true! Yes, I, Mordred Viking, am saying that whoever made this, a guy called Gareth, is a genius. And that's totally fine. Alright, let's get construction 2. It's, you know what, I'll wait 3 days and then it's not ahead of time. There we go, it's no longer ahead of time. BAM! And let's also get... Yeah, concentrated industry, why not? I mean, they dress alike. I'm literally wearing the same shirt. I came home. So, streaming until 3. Checked out forums, Reddit, that type of thing in the run-up to release. Then at 6, no, at 5, we were told that pizza had arrived. So Studio Gold had pizza as a group. While waiting for the release to happen, all of the leads went off at 5:30 to do what's called the war room, where they basically prepare to press all the big buttons. While we were still eating pizza. It was glorious. Then at 6 everything goes out and everyone's kind of glued to their computers to see the first reviews and stuff coming in. And then, I think it was probably around 10 to 7 or so, I left and came here so I could stream some more. Because I know I had pre-scheduled that we would do a stream today at 8. Alright, next up, I think we want to reduce our necessary expenditure. Or Quezon City Campus. I still don't feel like I need the research slot that badly. This is the time to get rid of the economic penalties. Now that we have national fiscal policy, we need to ensure that the books are properly balanced. We want to achieve this not by raising taxes or going after those who are avoiding them, but rather to trim the unnecessary fat. After all, if we're not already delivering those services, who will miss them?
Orders.
And you have now trained. That is good. These guys are still getting their equipment. This is good. And yes, Fraser is one of the, what are they called? Community ambassadors. I should know, I used to be one for Hottervine. So he was there moderating chat while we were causing shenanigans for chat to enjoy. Okay, we can get an advisor and we probably should. We are going to be going pro Hacendado, so we can probably get Rojas. Juan Samalong this early in the game is also a really good choice. I have to say, in terms of mechanics, this is probably one of my favourite advisors. Because he is powerful, but he has such a huge downside, which is that extra trade resources per factory. Which means you only get 6 resources for every trade, not 8, as you usually do. So generally, you kind of want to get rid of him, like early 1940s. Temporary construction boom is over. How much did we get built? 1 and almost a second infrastructure in Zamboanga. Right. Anarchist uprising in the Spanish Civil War. So war support's there. At 25 war support we can get partial mobilization, which is what we'll be aiming for. We can get another 5 war support from unicameral legislature, which gets us to 22, then we just need war tension to do the rest. Early Steam reviews are looking solid, well done. There wasn't a number yet when I checked last. Is there now? Need to find an easy way to get to it. No, compromise. Yes. Oh, look at that. I'm still streaming on the Steam page too. Mostly positive, 106. 71% positive. Nice. Happy with that? No, that's Gareth streaming. True. You can tell us apart because he has glasses and I don't. Imagine if that really was the difference. Like, proper Clark Kent moment right there. Alright, unnecessary expenditure is done. Next. When do I want to do this? Ah, there's another war support. So that would be 22. Then unicameral. We could go partial mobilization from that. And because we did not leverage the peso, we cannot do these two. I'm actually kind of tempted by that. Let's see if we can get partial mobilization already. We'll do this one last, because that comes with the political power, which we'll need to actually increase our mobilization level. The Philippine Department has long been the American command in the Philippines. However, with growing tension, it's time to expand this into a larger formation of the United States Army. This will necessitate the creation of a new command structures and the transfer of significant American personnel from the US. Do you think Gareth drinks coffee when no one's looking? Absolutely not. He has at least some good taste, I imagine. I wouldn't know for sure. But he comes across as the kind of person. I mean, if he's able to make something as glorious as this, do you think this is the work of some coffee drinker? Hey, how are you? It's not my intention to interfere, but I need help since I don't know how to ask. Trying to subscribe to the monthly DLCs, but I get an error, so I'm thinking about buying the DLCs outright. The first thing I would do is reach out to Paradox support. They might be able to help you with why the subscription's not working. I'm not sure why. Or, yeah, head to our Discord. They can probably help out as well. No idea which ones are absolutely necessary in terms of content. Not interested in music or cosmetics. Can you help me? That is definitely a question for the community. I am actually someone who works, that's the wrong side, for the company that makes this. So I am not really qualified to answer what you should buy, because I would see everything. But chat, if you want to help out, then please do. Do you have MacArthur as part of the Philippines at the start? No. To get MacArthur, you need to appoint MacArthur, which is the next thing I'll be doing. So we'll get him soon enough. Now, in fact, since 1935, General Douglas MacArthur has been working as an advisor for the Philippine government. However, it is time to put his skills and experience to use in a more official capacity, and give him the command of the United States forces in the Far East. So for this, the USA will get an event saying, hey, we want him. We get the war support, which we've been talking about, and we also get Richard Sutherland as a new Chief of Army, as we start to bring in that American staff. Nesca Fekitu TV, thank you very much for the follow. Welcome to the channel. This guy has a better hat. Yeah, true. Amelia Earhart circumnavigates the globe. More Chinese United Front join us. Marco Polo bridge incident is done. Construction 2 and concentrated industry. So now we're ahead of time. But we have the 35% reduction, so we could do this, but still not fast enough. We have 3, so we could go 1, 2, 3, which actually seems a relatively reasonable thing to do. Although, are these time critical? No, I'd say time computer machine is more critical. Maybe the 1936 destroyer, so we can actually start producing those? Well, this leads to a question. What ship stuff are we going to do? Are we going to go patrol boat? I think we are. I think I'm going to go with a slightly different strategy this time around. We're still going to do Mosquito Fleet and a fast attack craft, but we're actually going to arm these boats, so they won't be quite as cheap. So the big thing that I realised, which I really messed up in the multiplayer game earlier, is my PT boats had torpedoes, but they didn't really have guns. So I had nothing that was clearing out Devil's screens. And torpedoes can only hit if the screening efficiency is below 100. So I kind of need my destroyers to be able to kill their destroyers, and then the torpedoes can land and kill capital ships. So I think that's what I'm going to try to do. We're going to research better destroyers. We're not going to make them anti-submarine. I'm not that concerned about that problem. And we can always refit some of them later. But we want to get high-level destroyers early. And yes, this will be escort. What things do we have? Escort, refurbishment, and submarine builder. Okay. Mordred, will we ever get to see you and Gareth play off against each other in a naval battle? No, after the absolute drumming that Gareth got earlier, I'm not sure that he'd ever really be up or going up against a true expert like myself. Douglas MacArthur arrives in the Philippines. Excellent news. President Franklin Delano Roosevelt has assigned General Douglas MacArthur to command the United States forces in the Far East. We are very familiar with MacArthur as during his retirement he has acted as the military advisor here for a number of years, and his appointment and reactivation to regular service is a sure sign the United States is serious about the responsibility for our defence. On his arrival in Manila, he immediately set about securing resources from the United States, and himself vowed to stand alongside our brave Filipino people against any incursion, and to the very last. Welcome to the Philippines, General. So we could bring in Eisenhower at this point, but I don't really see the need for that just yet. Instead, how many civies do we have? We still only have 5. Maybe we'll do the Quezon City campus, Pro Hacendados, and then we'll start doing the missions. Once we have a bit more of the economy established to actually use them. Because again, 38-ish is when I want to bring in Eisenhower. Because the way that Eisenhower works is you get him for about 2 years, then he goes back to America. I kind of want to let him go back to America before any of the real shenanigans start. Because if he plays out his full 2-year term in the Philippines, he goes from being a level 3 to being a level 5. So he's really valuable for the United States when he goes back. In the same way that we are planning for the future of our nation, planning and construction the city of the future, similarly we should consider the future of our Filipino citizens and ensure the educational excellence is given the space to flourish in this fledgling city. Rajahas capitulated, Panay incident. Right, this is the Japanese are here. Indio Mourinho is taken over in there. Amy is capitulated. Ah, yes. Good point. I do actually have the war support for it already because of this. So I just need to get another 11 political power without this falling. And it's currently at... It's showing me the decimal. The world tension is... Oh, there we go. Partial mobilization. Okay, we got it. Job's a good one, boss. So as it turns out, didn't need it. World circumstances turned in our favour. However, we have leveled you up as far as I wanted you to go, so let's go ahead and just max out the number of civilian factories we're going to get there. So once we have the campus, then we'll do Hacendados. We could even do Luzon transport and textile mills, because these you get free infrastructure and building slots. The Yellow River has been blown. Guangxi has joined the Chinese United Front. There we go, another research slot, don't mind if I do. And with that, let's go ahead and start researching level 1 guns. Right, and then another political thing, which is going to be for Hacendados. The rich, landed elite inherited from the Spanish colonial era remain a significant force of influence and wealth within the Philippines. We should court these old families in exchange for a continuation of the status quo, earn their patronage. So the Great Depression then switches to shaken economy with this, which means red line go down, now becomes green line go flat. And I'm already playing this so much better than the game this afternoon. So much better. So much better than Gareth. Yeah, see? True pro. Can't expect Gareth to be a good gamer as a dev. You are the streamer after all. This is true. France and Britain announced their alliance. Japanese invasion's going pretty rapidly so far. Kind of scary for China. That's that change. How did we do this previously? We go to our thing, then Chinese United Front. Hover over the score. So their manifest is territorial integrity, so I think they are getting the bonus. So the way the Chinese United Front works is if they have over 50% of the manifest, then they get bonuses, I think, to political power. And if they have less than 50% of their manifest, so they've been losing territory as opposed to gaining it, then they gain attack and defense on core. So the more territory they lose, the stronger their armies become. Which is part of the balance of the coast falls, but then Japan really struggles in the hinterland. I know that that change was coming in a patch, but I don't know if it's in this patch on release, or if it's the one coming soon. Right. What did we just research? Destroyer 2. Destroyer 3, it's not that far ahead. I love this change. Like, the fact that Tier 3 and Tier 4 ships are available a year earlier makes such a big difference. Because yes, I would love to have improved destroyers this early. That would be amazing, because then I can get the Tier 3 engine. Xinjiang's joined. And I think we want the surface visibility and detection buffs. Please and thank you. And Sugar Barons does give me factories and naval yards. Textile mills is factories. So maybe we go Mindanao transport, because I want Zamboanga to get the extra infrastructure because we're building stuff there now. Despite being the second largest island in the Philippine archipelago, it has never reached even close to the level of investment of the northern counterpart in Luzon. We should remedy this oversight. Sugar Baron, a better version of Sugar Daddy. Sure, let's go with yes. There we go. Red line has now become grey line. And the light battery is finished. Yeah, let's keep on buffing the destroyers. Because we're going to be in a position to start actually producing those soon. Again, I usually let this run of 50 convoys finish. And then switch to destroyer production. It's actually a pretty nice gauge of like where you are in terms of preparation. Even if I do say so myself. Alright, get another advisor. Do we at this point want to get the Chief of Navy? Maybe? No, let's get the Hacendado for even more consumer goods. Because with this we're now at 8. In fact, soon to be still 8. Mindanao is almost done. Do these 4. And that, well, I also really like gold mining. And this one actually upgrades Marsman and Company. Effectively a 15% consumer goods factor swing. Like, this is really when the economy starts to get good. Which is again something I did not really fix in the communist playthrough. That's a bit too far ahead of time. Let's go for the torpedo upgrades. So I need to actually choose this. We'll go to the sugar barons. I did not read that. Sugar is the back upon which the entire Philippine economy is based. Without this rich resource, our nation's prosperity would disappear overnight. We need to encourage those who cultivate and export this critical crop, thereby earning us more of this sweet, sweet money. Oops, that just cancelled. Didn't mean to do that. We're good. Roses are red, violets are blue. Gareth is schizophrenic. Mordred Viking is too. Just had my first run end in disaster. Played as the Philippines. It was great, and immediately running it back. Awesome, Riker. Thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'm also kind of glad it ended in disaster, because that is kind of meant to be the default. Philippines is not easy, as you saw in the multiplayer game. How's my coal? Make sure we have a surplus. And this is why I build up Zamboanga, so I have less coal issues. You want me to demobilize the economy? No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Not happening. Right, so we are starting to unlock an ability which will allow me to switch convoys or equipment. So we can basically trade in convoys or convert naval output for weapons. So you don't really have to build military factories if you don't want to. You have other ways of procuring equipment. Not to mention the requisition system too. All of this. Oh, we need to do Eisenhower too before I forget. How are we doing with the ship? Down to 28, so we're halfway. That's fine. Looks like Japan has slowed a little bit in their eager offensive. Trigger barons are done. April 38, I think it's time for us to get Eisenhower. Similarly to MacArthur, Dwight D. Eisenhower has been working as an advisor to the Philippine government since 1935, and MacArthur has now seen fit to officially bring this promising officer into his staff. Although there have been reports of antipathy between the two, perhaps their differing personalities and leadership styles would be the complement needed to keep the nation safe. Also true. During his tenure as the commander of USAFE, Eisenhower was working with MacArthur, although at the time he was a major. Quite the rise, considering at this point, so like 1936-37, Eisenhower was still a major, and yet by the end of the war he would have risen to Supreme Commander of the Allied forces in the West. Now let's talk about construction. Someone smart really planned this out to let you have that naval fantasy. I know, right? Nationalist victory for the Spanish Civil War. But we were not on the monarchist side, so we don't really care. And there's Eisenhower. General MacArthur's request for Dwight D. Eisenhower to join the Philippines has been approved. We are lucky to have such a rising star join us, and it is further proof of how dedicated the United States are to our protection. It has been made clear to us that this is to be a short-term assignment of roughly 2 years. However, there may be a way to incentivize his remaining in the Philippines. Ooh, maybe. Might have something to do with this. Possibly. Alright, so we've got those things done. I think we do lose on transport to get the textile mills. We're back to building infrastructure, aren't we? Yes, we are. We haven't finished anywhere else. We could actually get another civilian factory there, so we might as well. And San Miguel. With the San Miguel... So you can actually get San Miguel from the start. Because San Miguel is actually Filipino, which I did not know until I started working on this. The beer. It just gives you stability. However, if you get the upgrade, then it gives you weekly war support penalty reductions. So if you're really getting blasted during the war, having San Miguel can be really helpful. Like if you're under a bit of a siege mentality. I've also realised that I've left this running for a little while, and I don't really know how long. But I'm not going to min-max it, so it's fine. The other thing I'm kind of tempted to do is just do the National Defence Act now. I'm going full economic. I'm going to go full economic, sod it. So let's do Luzon. Although already the most developed part of the Philippines, it is also the most populous and industrial, and therefore its transport routes are in high need for further investment and expansion. If you get blasted during the war, have a San Miguel and get really blasted. I like it. Do I get any cheap advisors? I do. Actually, Richard Sutherland's pretty good. So is Andrade. Jesus Fillmore gives you experience. You can actually start an air force if you want to. Definitely not the Philippines' main thing to do, though. I kind of think that we probably do want a Chief of Navy. It's either that or one of these. We could do with Evangelista, actually. Because he was our country leader, we couldn't get him as an advisor, but here we can. So we will see a little bit of a rise of communism, but that's even more consumer goods production. Let's get Evangelista. And yeah, he hasn't been exiled, so we can do that. There we go. Okay, our consumer goods usage should now be really low. 16%. And partial mobilization, that's pretty good. Alright, basic torpedo is done. Let's go and upgrade. Actually, do we have tech to do? Let's get better torpedoes. Shipbuilders. There's the Luzon transport. So now let's do the textile mills for the extra factories, and then I think we're going to start doing the missions. I would really like that gold. Textile mill. We are now in the midst of a major push into more industrial economy, and the backbone of this is the textile industry. If we are able to produce the basics ourselves, then we'll never again be reliant or vulnerable to foreign influence again. Do I need more convoys? I don't think so. I think I'll take the fuel usage. So I don't need to worry about importing fuel so much. Although we're going to be allied to America, so it's probably not as big of a deal. Especially with the sheer number of destroyers we should have. Though we haven't started building any yet, which is a little bit concerning. Down to 20. Fourth International. A number of communist delegates from around the world met in Paris today for the founding conference, laying the groundwork for what is to be known as the Fourth International. So maybe we do Textile Mills, National Defence Act, then? No, we were going to go full economy. In which case maybe we do one more of these, so gold mining. Then Nationality Defence Act mission. Let's do that. Because we can be undertaking other jobs at the same time. We need that. Yeah, otherwise I'll forget it. Let's get the anti-air and light attack. So our screens get better at doing those things. And we're going to go all in on the light attack on our screens. See how it works this time around. Textile mills done. So we have 4. We need one more, then we can do Nationality Act. Let's expand the gold mining. Spain has always been remarkably astute when it comes to finding gold and silver reserves, and they were not disappointed in the Philippines. They would, however, be very angry to discover the richest gold veins are only now being tapped, and this booming export is bringing record revenue to our nation. Which is true. Significant more gold reserves were found in the Philippines. There's also part of the reason why Spain fought so bitterly to hold on to the Philippines. Because of the gold. build. And after this, I think we're going to probably switch to shipyards. Kingdom of Hungary renounces the Treaty of Trianon. Okay. Smoke generators are done. We are at some point going to need to research better weapons, and I think now is that time. Boots on the ground are just a thing we're going to need to do. Don't want to spend resources on upgrading our political situation. Improved ship torpedo launchers are done. Let's go and get the magnetic detonator. Detonator. Meanwhile, defensive democracy, 70% through the manifests, not too bad. Independent, uncapitulated democratic countries or dominions, 28 out of the 40 we're aiming for. Not generating any points here. Right. That's way ahead of time. I'm not convinced we necessarily need those just yet. You know what? No, we should still research them. This one in particular because it has dockyard output. And now I think I'm also going to get the Chief of Navy. Let's bring in Andrada. Though we may wish to switch him out in the future. Okay, so there's the 5. So now we can do the Nationality Act. The United States are enacting the Nationality Act, which revises existing laws on citizenship, including those concerning Filipinos and their status in the United States. The Act clarifies that Filipinos are recognized as US nationals rather than citizens, allowing them to live and work in the United States, but without the full rights of citizenship. And with this, we start recovering our economy. And reduces the National Defense Act from the whopping 245 days we saw at the beginning of the stream to just 35. And at that point, I think we will get it. Definitely later than I like doing it, January 39. But on historical, Philippines shouldn't get invaded until the end of 41. Historically, they were attacked, I think it was 10 hours after Pearl Harbor. Aftermath of the Chilean earthquake. So now we've gotten rid of most of the penalties, except for the construction speed. Generally, if you go with the pro-Japan path, you get more of the construction speed stuff. Which can definitely help you with that. Well, I think I am going to get a Chief of Army. Let's bring in Gruner. Well, no, let's wait for Sutherland. We'll get the 100. I also... Hang on, we have MacArthur, so we have a Field Marshal. Ordinarily, I'd think about promoting Max Ase to Field Marshal, but I don't think we actually need to.
Ready to move.
Because I intend to hold on to him. This is our song. This is the acoustic version of Sanctuary of Hope, which I really like. I don't usually like acoustic music, but this I think is really cool. National Defense Act was passed on the 21st of December 1935, and with it, a sum of 16 million pesos allocated to the armed forces of the Philippines. All that remains now is to determine how and where to spend this sum. Each branch of the military is crying out for investment, as are the defences crucial to our security. 35 days, not 245. Much better. We have just 9 convoys left. Perfectly timed. These guys are ready as well.
Listen up.
Alright, next up we should probably get the gold exports and maybe the sugar exports just to supercharge our economy. Although I really would like to start working on the missions. Let's do that first. America is famous for its investment, so let's tap into this capital resource and set it loose on the Philippine economy. Who knows what wonders these capitalist entrepreneurs will be able to create without direct state intervention. Let's check Slovakia. We did. I'm going to hold off this. We'll get this there. So there you go. Sanctuary of Hope, and then the other one, which is the Philippine track, is Warriors Heart March. So this one was inspired by the Philippine Army Orchestra. You know, these guys. And this, I believe, is actually quite famous in the Philippines. They're very proud of it. Bit more hopeful, a bit more optimistic. Patriation Act gives me a recruitable pop, which I don't really need. I think it's probably time to get military requisitions. No, let's do the offshore patrol. National Defence Act has contained provisions for the maritime protection of the Philippine archipelago. This is not expected to be a fully formed Blue Ocean fleet, but rather one built around the protection of the home shores. This is not to say this couldn't just be the first step to a more dominant fleet. Things are starting to kick off in Europe. China's holding. There we go. These are all done. So, do I start upgrading my destroyers? I think I'll wait the 51 days for this. So let's just continue making convoys for the time being. Double switch soon enough. Still ahead of time. Just bring the music back down again. What do I want? I think at this point we just focus on the guns. No, let's get the construction. Because I also really want to start working on more of the this line. So I can really double down on the shipyards. Although I really do need to think a bit more about getting an army. Because you really shouldn't underestimate the Japanese. Oh, right, because we have Eisenhower, we actually get a free Grand Doctrine. So we should choose that. So we have 4 choices. The Grand Doctrine is basically your overall strategic vision. And then within the Grand Doctrines, I'm not going to actually select this one, you then get 4 sub-doctrines. Infantry, artillery, combat support, armor, and organization. And then in these, you can basically specialize your forces a bit more. This button here, the so-called expert mode, will let you hover over each of these and you'll get the full breakdown of what they offer. Without this selected, you just get the initial trait. So, for those of you who play a lot of Hearts of Iron, make sure this is on. So, mobile warfare gives planning speed, division speed, glossal moving, reinforce rate, planning speed, brigade size and various tactics. Superior firepower is more soft attack from artillery. Supply consumption, brigade size, plan prep decay rate, tactics, and support companies have more organization, and we also have more recovery rate. Grand battle plan is more planning, daily command power, a tactic, reinforce rate, entrenchment, command power increase, coordination, brigade size. The mass assault is non-combat out of supply, supply grace, a tactic, more supply, entrenchment, reinforce rate, training level, war support from casualties, brigade size, and a bunch of tactics. I'm kind of leaning towards superior firepower. We are an American minion, which means we can have pretty easy access to artillery. Let's do that. And then with this, we will need to pay experience. So we got the Grand Battle Plan for free because... the Grand Doctrine. Because of Eisenhower, usually you would have to pay 100 experience. So it's a good reason to get Eisenhower. The next thing we'll probably want to do is look at different infantry. Probably something like defensive postures, to give ourselves a bit more defensive capability, and we probably also want artillery. But we'll decide that when we actually have the 100 army experience needed. Because right now, we don't. In the meantime, is it time for more gold? Is it time for more science? Because Philippines can actually get up to 5 research slots if they go pro-America, which we have. The other one is here, which we could also do. We really need to not fall behind. As much as I like playing with my boats, the boats are kind of useless if they have no base to fall back on. So as much as I want to continue working on these, I don't think we really can. Oh, but we have a mission. Before I forget, shoot, it's already gone through a bit of time. So we want to build a railway connection. So the way that I wanted these missions to work is, even if you do nothing with it, you still get a bonus. That's the 2 civilian factories. So you always get that, if you succeed or otherwise. However, you have 2 years of bonuses within whatever state you build railways through. So for every owned state that has a new railway connection to another state, will gain local construction speed and local available resources. So we want to build a bunch of railways for this. So we definitely want to connect the ports, going inland wherever we can. So let's start those going. And then we probably want to connect you. Build some bridges. And then ultimately you can pull it off. Something like that. So that's you connected, you connected, you connected, and then all of these. So yeah, that should be all of our states then connected by a railway. And railways build pretty quick, and we do have 15 civilian factories now. So that should be doable. So I think now is the time for us to get some requisitions. The Cavite Naval Base is also really tempting. You know what? Let's do that one first. The Naval Yard at Cavite, situated across the bay from the city of Manila, has the greatest potential to be a deepwater port and shipyard of the Philippines. It already has some nascent facilities, but with investment could become a serious strategic asset from which to station a fleet capable of controlling the waters of Southeast Asia. So the thing that Cavite was most famous for was repair. It was like a major ship repair station. So that is available, and then it also upgrades the Cavite Naval Yard MIO, which happens to be our escort ship one. Wait, no, it's the refurbishment one, because again, repair. The maritime company from Cebu is the escort. The communists are staging a strike. That's nice. And with this, we are actually going to need to research and probably produce or buy some trains. So let's get trained. Well, actually, can you buy trains without knowing what they are? Because I would totally do that instead. Yes. Alright, let's do that instead. Let's not do that too heavily right now, though, because I'm still trying to build the railways. The trains can come later. That's fine. Okay, so we're getting a couple of trains coming in from Norway. Thanks, Norway. We're starting to get more dockyards going as well, which is good. Cavite Naval Base will add a few more. Poland refused the German ultimatum, and so it begins. World War II has kicked off. I vote for mass assault. It's only appropriate. Oh well, shells it is. Mordred did indeed say to shell with it. Also, hey Mandoon. Get output is climbing. Ah, and we have our Admiralty. We'll talk about that in a minute. Right, you can't do these while the other investment plans are in action. Okay, that's fine. Let's do the military requisitions in that case. Let's start getting some guns and things from the Americans. It's September 39. Things are kicking off. It feels appropriate to start arming. In order to actually facilitate the rapid expansion of the military force, we need to requisition sufficient stores of arms and equipment from the supply depots back in the United States. This will allow us to maintain a solid fighting force equipped with the absolute best of American hardware. Alright, so we have a naval headquarters. We are going to assign our best. So that's going to be... No. We realise Andrade is actually really good with destroyers. We're going to put Gerardo in here. And basically what this does... If we hover over the anchor, we can see what bonuses this is giving, and then if I click on the naval yard itself, there we go, we can see all of the areas it affects. So any task force that is active in this region will also get these bonuses, and any experience that those task forces gain, a trickle of that will then go to Gerardo as well, so he benefits from this too. So spotting speed, number of ships in first combat, screening efficiency, enemy fleet size penalty, fleet coordination, army org, retreat decision chance, and convoy speed while retreating. And you know what? I think the other thing I want to do is use some of this massive command power to recruit some more admirals. Let's go with maneuver and coordination so we can do hit and run. Hey, we got a bold. Excellent. Okay, cool. Flexible contracts. Cruiser design cost, don't really care about that. Research speed, recovery rate. Recovery rate would be good, actually. So ship recovery rate is a new modifier we've brought in. If you build repair ships, then a portion of ships lost in battle will be sent to a nearby repair yard for repairs, rather than killed. And I am expecting us to have a lot of casualties, so this could actually be really valuable for us. It will, however, require me to build one of these, but I don't see that as a bad thing. So let's go ahead and get that going. Because we do start with a naval scientist, which is Naval. Okay, Convene Naval Yard is graded. Let's make you use less fuel. Onwards. Oh, and we should... No, there was no other spirit that we wanted, was there? Fact, we're going to be able to choose a Grand Doctrine in just a minute. Fall of Warsaw. German forces advancing in Poland have succeeded to take the capital, and Poland's capitulated. And there we go, Grand Doctrine. So, 3 choices. Fleet in Being, Trade Interdiction, or Base Strike. Fleet in Being gives us capital ship armor and organization. And then Naval AA, capital ship attack, escort efficiency, mine laying efficiency, torpedo reveal chance, which could be good, and then strike force organization loss. Whereas Trade Interdiction is plus 15% convoy rating. Naval targeting, support efficiency, naval detection, sub-attack, convoy raid, even more. So we get 25% convoy raid. Escort, torpedo reveal chance is also quite nice. I think we're going to go Trade Interdiction. We're going to be kind of aggressive at sea. And then the next thing we'll probably want is a screen sub-doctrine. Maybe patrol boats, maybe something else. We'll take a look. And we also have enough political power for another one of these. I think it's time for us to go limited conscription. Vincente Lim gains 2 points of planning. That would certainly be nice. Let's go ahead and send him on a course. Right, the ferry route. Totally forgot about this. You can actually get free infrastructure by investing convoys. I completely forgot about this. Yeah, let's do it. It'll cost me 75, but I think that's worth doing. And this also saves me having to build infrastructure in these locations. Done. And this is part of the idea of Philippines as an archipelago. There are lots and lots of independent islands. You wouldn't necessarily connect them all with a railway, except we have. You would instead build ferries. And what models ferries in this game? Convoys. And we're the Philippines, we can build them really cheaply. Ah, we can get the Mariveles Naval Yard, which is even more naval dockyards. That sounds amazing to me. Let's do that. Manila has basic naval facilities, however it has the potential for so much more. The first thing we should do is expand Mariveles Naval Base, situated in the Bataan side of the bay. This deep water port can house more significant facilities for the production and maintenance of naval assets. Well, let's do that. And there was something else related to this I was going to do, and I've totally forgotten what it was. Nope, it's gone. Oh, yeah, we were going to actually design a decent ship. Yes, we are. So let's go ahead and create a patrol boat. So we're going to go outdated equipment because we just want the tier 1 destroyer because it's the cheapest hull. We're going to put a great big engine on it. We're going to make sure that this is built by Compagnia Marittima de Cebu. It's going to have torpedoes. It's going to have a big gun. It's going to have a name. And that's it. I can't afford it yet. Fantastic. But that's what it's going to look like. More communist strikes. Oh. Now we can do limited conscription. That's what I was looking at. Yeah, magnetic torpedoes might be a good one to wait for. Does this actually add... Yes, it does. Another torpedo launcher. Finland rejects the Soviet demand. Soviet diplomats have presented an ultimatum to the government of Finland. And the end of the League of Nations. Looks like Japan seeing a little bit of success around the Yellow River. There we go. Naval base is done. Still can't get the investment fund. We could get the small arms and artillery and then the trucks. That actually reminds me what I was going to do. Or we could do the PT boat development. Yes, because this gives me a 1 year ahead of time research on screen ships. So that tier 4 destroyer I've been sitting on, I'm going to get more cheaply. Our nation, being a large collection of islands, would be better served utilising smaller vessels capable of darting in and out of the narrow waterways of the archipelago to harass and bring down larger foes. We should purchase expertise in torpedo boat doctrines and use that to develop our own bespoke naval assets to be called patrol boats. I'm going to wait, I think, for the torpedo launcher. This is fine. Because I just used more than half of my convoys, I do kind of want to rebuild my convoy supply. Because I know we're going to lose some when the fighting starts. I do have MacArthur, yes. Okay. The White Death. The investment's going to run out soon. But thankfully... Oh no, that's not the investment. That's down here, 24 days. We have built everything. Yeah, all of the railways are finished. We connected everything except for Palawan. Which physically can't be. Then once that's done, we can get some more infrastructure. Right, I remember what I was going to do. We were going to go to the international market, we were going to buy equipment, we were going to sort this by subsidies, infantry equipment from the United States, and then we're going to see if they have anything that's better than just basic. No. So let's just go ahead and buy their Springfields. As many of them as they'll send me. This is going to depend purely on my convoy numbers. And we're using up 1,400 of the 5,000 subsidy that we have. For those free guns. And there we go. That is how the subsidies work. You requisition, you get a bunch of free stuff from the United States. And we actually changed the AI of the US to make sure that they put more stuff on the market so that other nations can buy from them. Including, and in particular, the Philippines. You would think the US had to have a few more guns available than that. Well, I mean, it was all of those. It wasn't just that one branch. It's all of this. This is all American. Unfortunately, I just don't have the convoys to buy more. Actually, I could buy this one. This is actually developed with an MIO. Let's go ahead and buy that. There we go. We're left with just 2. And America wants to send me a Lend-Lease. Sure. A regular Lend-Lease. Let's start training more divisions. They send me more Lend-Leases. Okay. Rearmament has begun. And there's the ship launcher, torpedo launcher. Good. Let's get some more dockyard output and start ratcheting that up. Also, we've got our facility. So we're going to assign Emma to it. Is there anything I want to research from now? No. Oh, I have a physics point. Interesting. Can I add this? No, because we still haven't unlocked this. I still don't have an influence point either, so never mind. Cool. PT boat development's about to finish. And I still need to develop my new ship, but that's okay. Do I want to get mosquito boats now, just to make them 15% cheaper? Yes, I do. A single torpedo, or a single shell, can target and sink a single ship. Therefore, we must not just have a single ship, but an entire swarm. They might be able to get 1, 10, or even 100, but they won't be able to sink us all. Worse, all it will take for us to potentially... Worse, all it will take is for potentially just 1 of our own shots to strike true. My streaming earlier is starting to take a toll. They might be able to get 1, 10, or even 100, but they won't be able to sink us all. Worse, all it will take is for potentially just one of our own shots to strike true, and with our swarm, we can hardly miss. Done. This is the Zerg Navy. Yes, absolutely. Omar, do you think this nation would be good for multiplayer, or does the extreme lack of resource and factory slots make it bad? I think Philippines would be really good if you have a player USA and you're kind of co-oping. If you're just on your own doing a random playthrough, it might be too slow for multiplayer. Because this nation is very much balanced to kick off in 1941-42. The years preceding that, they are quite weak. And that's intentional. I have no intention of changing that. Because if the Philippines suddenly became a major regional power in 38, it's just not believable. German pressure towards Benelux. So that's all kicking off a bit more. And... oh, hang on. Could I have done... yes, I should have done that first. You know what? It's only 10 days. That means I'm not losing any progress. Because you can save up to 10 days. So we're instead going to do the investment fund so I can get my industry going even harder. Although individual investment into our nation is very much appreciated, to really make the most of this capital, it should be maintained in a centralized fund, managed by those who really know the economic realities here in the Philippines, so that they can properly direct this investment to where it can be best used for the highest return. And this is going to give us another economic mission. So with this one, we want to achieve good trading relations with at least 3 regional powers and have at least a level 6 naval base and build 1 new naval dockyard during this plan. I think we can do that. Oh no! Germany declared on Belgium. No! Belgium! Ooh. 5% faster production of screens. Don't mind if I do. And that reminds me, we do need to build them. We have all the text that I wanted, right? Yes, we do. Okay, so tier 3 engine. This is going to be built by Cebu. It's going to have tier 3 torpedoes. Going to have a tier 3 turret. And that's it. Patrol. All that. Save. And let's start making some. And now we're going to need to buy in steel. With that massive lend-lease we just accepted, that's going to be rather difficult. So maybe we shouldn't have got that infrastructure as a thought. Although it does make the long-term development of our country that much easier. Belgium's capitulated. Belgium! Okay, so we got the investment fund. We must remember to actually do something with it. Now we're going to get the Mosquito fleet, which I have already read. Okay, so let's take a look. There it is. So, if we manage to complete this... if we don't complete this, we get a civilian factory and a military factory. If we successfully do this, we get double. So we'll get 4 free industries, basically, which is really nice. So we want to build at least 1 naval dockyard, have a level 6 naval base in at least 1 state, and 3 of the UK, France, Australia, China, Japan, and the Netherlands must like me at least 50. I think that's all doable. So level 6 naval base. I know that Manila is our highest level. Level even higher. 5. So it has to be at least 6, which means 7. And then we need to have built a naval dockyard. which we are actually very nearly doing. And then we need to have positive relations with 3 of the UK, France, China, Japan, and the Netherlands. So Netherlands, I think, is a natural fit. Improve relations. I think Britain is a natural fit. And I think France is a natural fit as long as they don't die. They might die by then. Maybe not France. Let's do Australia instead. Yeah. Ooh, Japan's digging deep. They've taken Wuhan. Ooh, they're taking Chengde and Changsha. That's kind of dangerous. There's a lot of supply stuff around here. Oh, and Communist China actually grew. They won both of their border wars, I think. No, Yan'an they get for free, more or less. And it's not guaranteed that they get Guian. So this is actually quite a strong PRC. Very good, very good. And we got the extra science! Next up, let's get the fire control system, which gives my light batteries a higher hit chance. Though, man, those things are expensive. Never mind. Let's go for the improved shields. Did I ask the US for convoys? I don't think I really need to. Can I still improve relations with someone who's dead? Because you know that whole thing I was saying, I'm not going to bother improving relations with France, they probably won't survive. At least 3. I'm only doing 3 right now, so I think we also need to improve relations with China. Thankfully I have quite a lot of political power. Because improving relations turns out kind of expensive. There goes Paris. And there goes France. And there we go, we've got a dockyard. I think what I'm going to do with these, I'm going to build some more convoys. Let's get, say, another 100. Government corruption scandal. Change in popularity of democracy. We get political power. You know, I will take that free democracy. Because Evangelista is having a real impact on our communism support here. Crikey. They formed the reorganized government of China. We got 2 military factories because we completed that mission already. Oh, record time. Sweet. So I happen to know that my scout divisions require support equipment and artillery. So how about, as a thought, we develop some support equipment and artillery? Or we buy it. Then I don't need to make it. I think I'd rather just concentrate on guns. They're cheaper. Ooh, a couple of people ready to deploy. That's good. You can go. You can go.
Listen up.
Has Eisenhower returned to the US yet? No, he hasn't. Gonna be soon, though. Buying takes convoys, which you need to for steel for the fleet. Yeah, I know. At the moment, they're all busy with that giant lend-lease, which I can always cancel if I need to. They've sent me 4,000. Okay, we've done 40% of them. No, that's efficiency. Oh, were they doing this monthly? I thought it was one-off. Well, we've got another shipment in 5 days. 3, 2, 1. Done. Noise capitulated. Greater East Asian Co-Prosperity Sphere has been developed, with the proposed objectives of ensuring economic self-sufficiency and cooperation amongst the member states, along with resisting the influence of Western imperialism and Soviet communism. Fuminara Kanoe has today announced the founding of the Daitoa Koiken. Whether this truly is the objective of the Union or just another careful ploy by the Japanese propaganda machine is still on the top of everyone's minds. Alright, the Mosquito fleets are done, so let's get the fast attack craft to really soup them up. The ideal evolution of the patrol boat is the fast attack craft. With significantly upgraded speed and firepower, these craft can buzz around the shores and bring ruin upon our enemies who stray too close, and dart away again before help can arrive. At least that's the hope. And I'm going to cancel the Lend-Lease from the US. It's too freaking expensive. Keep sending me the support equipment. I'm totally okay with that, but the guns I don't need. And there we go. Now I have convoys free. So with that, what are we short on? Support equipment we're going to continue receiving. Artillery we only need a little bit more. However, we are superior firepower, which means I'm probably going to want to add more artillery to my divisions. So we are probably also going to want to cancel this, head over to here, and take a look at what's over this. Here we go, small arms and artillery requisition. While the very basics have arrived, in order to properly equip the force we are raising here, we need to requisition a whole lot more guns of all calibers, large and small. That takes only 21 days, which is very nice. And we're also going to buy some steel. Do I want to drop some along at this point? Maybe. Maybe. We'll buy from the US. We'll get 18. 3 is fine for now. There we go. Eisenhower has returned to the US. The military situation in the Commonwealth of the Philippines has proven sufficiently... Oh, that's a mistake. Military situation in the United States, that should say, has proven sufficiently dire that Dwight D. Eisenhower has been requested to immediately return home. That's the first bug I've noticed. I remember the first time I did this as Belgium, and I was taking notes constantly. Here is the first time. Is this the best way of doing it? He will be surely missed. So Eisenhower has now gone back to the US. I'm just going to double check that he has. He has, but MacArthur has not. So Max Ace is going to basically take his place as my main general. It was fine. Oops, gets more spirits. Destroyer research, light ship design cost, cruiser, ship module research, submarines, seaplanes, interruptibility. Yeah, I'm tempted for the interruptibility. Hang on, what do I need to get support ships? I need to research the transport ship. Which is you. I haven't actually used support ships yet, so I'm kind of curious about them. Interesting new expansion. Yes, I agree. Thank you, Hab Gleason. Slight bias, of course. There we go. Small arms and artillery requisition is done. So now, with the subsidies, I can buy artillery from the US. I will do so. We'll even do this quickly. And then I think we're also just going to continue buying guns, because we might as well. We'll keep getting the MIO ones. Get that as fast as we can. And then, yes, I do have another focus I need to choose. We could do the Luce Keller Act, which is the third of the investment plans. The third and final one. The Luce-Keller Act is an immigration act in the United States which increased the quota of allowed Filipino travelers and for the first time enabled the naturalization of Filipinos as American citizens. This marks the beginning of a new era of cross-Pacific migration. And we have 150 political power, but it did say that there were a bunch of things that we could potentially unlock, so I'm not going to do that just yet. We can also purchase weapons with political power from the US, which gives them off-map civilian factories. This also gives me a subsidy. And I can also recruit some more admirals, and I think I might do so. Just to keep a decent cycle of new trades, although Antonio Rizal is still, I think, our best choice. We're starting to get some ships. So let's go ahead and put Rizal in charge of them. Have you train. I feel like China's actually fighting back a little bit. You're working on infrastructure again. You probably shouldn't be. No, you shouldn't. Let's just double down on the shipyards at this point. There we go. Luce-Keller Act is done. So what do we need for the level 3 industrial plan? Requires 5 infrastructure points obtained through the decisions below. Currently we have 0. Bataan must have at least level 5 infrastructure. Or build one. Central Islands, same thing. We've already done Central Islands. If we succeed in this, we will gain some extra chromium and steel and some extra factories. Sorry, no, if we don't complete this within a year, we get factories and some chromium and steel. If we do succeed at this, we get chromium, steel, factories, and a new dam in Manila. And dams are really juicy now. So we definitely want that. So establish the reserve transport fleet. I think that's a very cheap one for me to do. That counts as one of the infrastructure points, and we have a lot of convoys. We can reorganize the railway system. No, these are different. These don't give the +1s. Right, I need to do these, but I think convoys should come back. Otherwise I'm going to need to buy some trains and some trucks. Mandatory Palestine's capitulated. That's not good, that's it. Ooh, yikes. Someone did a naval invasion. Also, Ethiopia gunning for it. We have actually seen Italy doing really well in the recent balance tests. Right, let's go ahead and make some purchases. So we wanted to buy trains, which is something that we wanted to do anyway. So that I don't have to build them. Oh no, don't tell me there's none available. USA, thank you. Pennsylvania class trains, I'll buy them. And then trucks are still going to be in here. I'll buy all of those. I'll buy all of these too. Thank you, Speed. Okay. We could get the truck requisition. This also makes Russell Volkman and Richard Marshall available. Both of them are really strong. Volkman is the theorist especially. Is there anything else I need to be doing? Kind of need to do these. Also kind of need to do this. Also kind of need to do these. Although getting so much equipment from the US, I don't think this is as pressing. I would very much like to have this before the war kicks off. So many choices. Yeah, the extra research slot would be big, but I already feel like we're doing quite well in research. I'm not worrying too well. Hang on. I was going to say I'm not worrying too much about weapon research, but we barely even started it. Oh, maybe we need to do that. Unfortunately, this does not count towards the Treaty of Manila. It's a 70-day as well. And getting some of these upgrades would also be really nice. I'm going to get Volkman. Now that weapons are flowing into the Philippines, it is time to look to the logistics of actually maintaining an army in the field. Thanks to the burgeoning automobile and train industries of the United States, it should be no problem to requisition some of them for our military use. This also gives me a train subsidy, so I'm going to be able to get even more trains if I need to. I wonder how often the convoy thing becomes available. Oh, it's every 76 days. So we're effectively going to be able to pull that one off 3 times, maybe 4 before this ends. But we need to do it 5 times, so we have to do at least 1 or 2 of these. Alright, concentrated industry is done. Infantry divisions are already trained. Let's go ahead and deploy you. Let's also go ahead and deploy you and you.
Handa ng kumilos.
Have you trained? And there you go, you just heard some Tagalog. The voices for our soldiers
Ready to move.
are a mixture of Tagalog and American.
Handa na, sir. Ready to move.
Alright, let's get... That's ahead of time. Let's not get the ahead of time. Let's actually start getting some weapon attack buffs. Or other army buffs, I should say. Construction 4 is almost done, which is good. Oh, you know what else I should do? I should automate this by just making you a massive fleet. So that any ships come in and immediately start training. I also want you to split off to repair, so you're not all repairing at once if one of you gets damaged. That's just silly. I can expand the US bases! Right, you need the central thing and 1 of these. I was thinking I needed both. And I was dreading it. Oh, this is so much more gettable. I don't know why I'm so surprised. I literally made this. And it was only about a month ago. I actually did a complete rebalance of the requisitions tree because it just wasn't good enough. And also made it so... The requisitions tree is actually quite interesting. We haven't talked about this. So, the top couple up to military requisition, I think, you can get whatever you're doing, whatever your ideology. Then for every one of these that you do, so only the pro-American ones, and it's any of them, it doesn't matter which ones you get, you can then go further down this tree. So once you have 1 of these, then you can get these. Once you have 2, then you can do these. And if you have all 3 of them, you can do these. So for example, with 2 pro-America choices, I can expand the US bases, which gives me a couple of air bases, gives me research buff towards radar tech, which is quite nice. But if I do all 3, I can do the United States Asiatic Fleet. This gives me 2 new admirals, and they're quite good. But most importantly, send a part of the American Navy to the Commonwealth of the Philippines. We get like a quarter of the American Navy to command ourselves. And I think that would be quite helpful against Japan, don't you? So yeah, we totally want to do this. Like we've been going full America. Let's go full America. And you can do the same with Japan. The Japanese one is here, assume the naval burden, which is totally a reference to the Dutch focus tree. My favourite focus probably in the entire game is assume the naval burden that the Netherlands tree has. Well, now the Philippines has one too. And what this does is it gives you a portion of the Japanese navy. But you only get this if you've gone full fascist and you're in a faction with Japan. Though it doesn't actually care about this. So is it theoretically... No, you cannot do both. Because you have to have leveraged the peso to go fascist. Which means you can only get to level 2, so you can only get up to these. But you can get the Marivella's naval base, for example. With that. So let's go ahead and expand those US bases. Modern warfare is dominated by aircraft, and this holds especially true for our situation in the Philippines. By far the easiest way of securing the islands is through aerial domination, and even better, this allows us to patrol the surrounding ocean too. In order to better prepare ourselves for those aerial operations, we need to dramatically expand our air bases here. This also adds another interesting thing. So we added now the option to give airbase access. So you can go to, hey, Britain, I want airbase access, which then allows you to use their airbases. You can park your planes in them and use them as if they were your airbase. This has also allowed us to stop people from revoking airbase access. So if you expand the airbases, you give America airbase access in the Philippines and you cannot turn that off. So as long as you are not at war with the United States, they will be able to station station aircraft in the Philippines. And I really wanted to be able to do this because it's one of the things you can set as the communist tree, as one of the ways to kind of placate the US, is you can basically give them base access, like naval bases, air bases, military access, because it's basically giving them more and more military control effectively over the Philippines. I thought it's one of those things that really became part of American geopolitics during and after the war. Kind of started with the destroyers for bases, and then was up to like establishing the base in Greenland. Then post-war having like the Ramstein air base in Germany. It's all part of this thing. I was trying to replicate that. Anyway. Expand the airbase. Let's do that. A little bit of a backstory of how my weird developer mind thinks. I really do need to double. Well, hang on. To have artillery researched. No, let's get these first, because it's the boots on the ground that are going to keep us safe in the short term. How's the Navy? We are still working on it. Currently consists of 7 destroyers. But for patrol boats, they're actually pretty decent destroyers. They're a lot better than the ones I was using during the stream. Having, you know, actually got guns, so they can sink enemy destroyers. You want to send me a Lend-Lease? I don't want your Lend-Lease, because I currently have a grand total of 6 convoys spare. We're actually using fuel. Because of the training. That's interesting. And we can get Volkman. Yes, and we shall. Special Forces Doctrine cost, Land Doctrine cost. He gets them both. And then we can also get Volkman here. He's a Commando Genius. So more Special Forces and Special Forces attack. And remember, half of my army right now are Rangers. So buffing the Rangers, I think is probably a good move. Don't you? Let's build some more. Alright, air bases have been expanded. Now we can do United States Asiatic Fleet. The United States Army is not the only military body with an interest in the Far East. The Navy does too. Manila Bay is the perfect base to station the United States Asiatic Fleet, and is the ideal hub from which to expand their capability. So historically, the US Asiatic Fleet was based in Manila. It was one of the only military branches that was not under the command of MacArthur, being Navy, not Army. And at the outbreak of the war, they basically immediately withdrew to, I would assume, Hawaii. But they did not stick around. But in this, you can basically say, I want you to stick around. And I can build some more naval bases. Our shipyards. I think that's probably a good idea. Let's do some of that. As I'm relying on Lend-Leases and surpluses to buy equipment. Government scheme to undermine Partido Comunista exposed. This does give me a bit more democracy support, which is looking kind of shaky right now. This is another system we've actually built. I've kind of skipped over it because I've seen those events quite a few times myself. But the less control your ruling party has, the more of those negative events will appear. Or rather, the more negative those political events will be. It's a political system that I wanted to do so that we could have an impact for having people like Evangelista working with the Democrats. Like, yeah, you can have communists or fascists in your government, but yeah, it's also going to have an impact. And now it does. Transport ship research. Thank you. I was going to do that. Remind me again when it comes down to these. More units to deploy. I'm liking that.
Attention.
Up to 12 divisions now. We're not in a horrible position. Japan is definitely being pushed back. They're struggling against China. I think the Allies finally have Italy contained. Took them a bit though. Yes, I do need to have level 5 infrastructure in Bhutan, so let's do that. Good point. I had forgotten about that. And the transport fleet thing is back. Let's go ahead and trigger you. And now I can use these as well. The trains are really expensive, so I don't want to do that. The trucks, relatively cheap. So now we're up to 3 points. Well, when these complete, we'll be up to 3. Yeah, we'll be able to do this. This is fine. But I will continue to buy American trucks and trains if I can. Oh, yes! Yeah, America's like, yeah, we got trucks. I'm just going to use my whole subsidies. That's totally fine. Okay. Excellent. So yeah, these subsidies, pretty strong, yeah? Pretty good. Transport ships, 15 days. I'm not enough. Looking forward to the new stuff. Glad to hear that. Our request for control over local American naval forces has been approved by their government. The task forces have been ordered to our ports pending reorganization. Additionally, oil fields in Louisiana are now set to produce fuel for our forces to support the logistics after this major acquisition. What? Oh boy! Okay, we are not going to have fuel problems anymore. Sweet! Hello, Navy. And part of the reason I am sometimes surprised is because for some of the more technical things, like these events, I got some help. So we've been working with Marine, who is one of the devs on the Czechoslovakia community pack. One of the modders. We basically brought him on as a contractor to help me out in the Philippines, and he did some of this more technical stuff. I'm good at the design, I'm good at the writing, scripting, not my best. So when I'm surprised by moments like that, I'm like, oh my god, Marion, that's amazing. So Antonio Rizal suddenly became a whole lot more important. It's going to need to be reset, so let's just leave that off. I think I'm still going to separate out... I mean, I'll need to reorganize this fleet when the time comes. But I want to separate out my patrol boats to a separate fleet. And have that continue recruiting and most importantly training. And then this can come under the command of Andrada. Although we do now also have Hart, Wilkes, plus all the people we recruited. And in fact, we do have an engineer who would be good as a surface fleet captain, but honestly, that's going to be Andrada. Superior tactician. Yeah, you know what? Let's put Andrada in charge of the main fleet. And then Rizal in charge of the patrols. And you know what? Let's just go and merge that into this fleet. Just to reset all of the ship numbers. Where's Andrada gone? Fixed. Right, and then we have another national focus to do. So we can do gunboat diplomacy, which gives me more fleet coordination, range factoring, and fuel consumption, which would be quite nice. Or if we're in a faction with France and England, we can do War Plan Rainbow 5, which is actually an even stronger version of that. Doesn't have quite the range. But that's okay. I think we might actually wait until we join the Allies. I think it's probably time to do the fast attack craft. Right, and then research. Transport ships. I remembered. Why are they getting 100%? Oh. Oh, no. We need to do this for the year ahead of time. Less than a year to research? Heck yeah. Then we'll do it on here. Transport ships, transport ships, transport ships, transport ships. Transport ships. Now we don't have the 100% buff, which is fine. Communists involved in street clashes. Denounce the Partido Comunista. Yes, because we get the free democracy. And I like free democracy. Cool. Yugoslavia's capitulated. Let's get more shipyards going in Bataan. We are in fact going full navy. I hadn't fully intended this to be a full navy playthrough, but it turns out that this is in fact a full navy playthrough. What do I want to give you, Andrada? Ten heavy cruisers, 9 light cruisers, a bunch of destroyers and some submarines. I mean, I should split out the submarines now. And they can come under the command of Wilkes. He's actually a submarine commander. And then this fleet, I think I'm basically going to use as the strike fleet. I don't really care that much about dominance right now. Oh, we have some line layers. Split out the line layers. Make sure these icons are correct for what their roles are. Now, I don't have any escort ships. That is a thing that I do need to consider. These are mostly heavy hitters, though. I mean, this is 13 capital ships. So there are roughly the right number of destroyers here as their screen. Need 52. Close enough. So I think I'm going to try without patrol fleets and see... Either these will need to be patrol or they'll need to be convoy raid. I haven't decided yet. Maybe they should go patrol. And they can basically spot, play hit and run with our opponent. Oh wait, we have Clemson's here. So actually... we do have enough destroyers as a screen. Interesting. I should research anti-submarine stuff too. Okay. How are we doing for equipment? We have spare trucks. Short on everything else. America keeps on wanting to lend lease me, but honestly I'm kind of okay using my subsidies instead. I'm still short on convoys otherwise. So how much oil am I actually getting from the US? 106. That's quite a lot. I might alter that to be one of these smaller sets. 106 is quite a bit. I'm gonna make to myself. I think we even have the ability to say a portion of that number instead of the full amount. I'll need to look into that. I think that's something we added with this DLC, because it used to be if you give resource rights to another country, you give all of the resource rights of a particular state. Then we made it so it's of a particular resource. So you can say only the oil, not the aluminium or coal. And now I think we can also say it's a portion. Can I press more buttons? Not at the moment. I can do the train one, but I'm kind of reluctant to do that. These take 90 days, so we have enough time. As long as I can do these two again, which I'm fairly sure I can, once I get the convoys, then that'll be the 5. It doesn't say at least 5, it just says 5. And yes, I can press the button right now. There we go. And that should complete. Yeah, so I'd love to have some more dockyard output. Thank you so much for asking. And I think I'm going to switch this to making some more patrol boats. And yes, that is going to require more steel, and yes, that's going to now lead me to firing some along. Vendel 30. Construction speed we could do. Attack and defense on core territory is also not a terrible shout. Although that would then mean fascism. Let's go with that for the attack and defense buffs. And we can now get the screen. Sub-doctrine. So what do we want? Convoy escort will give us convoy speed when retreating, escort efficiency, mine sweeping, and then destroyer buffs to sub-detection, light attack, anti-air, and organization. Integrated operations, screening efficiency, cruisers, destroyers and light cruisers, surface detection, torpedo damage reduction, organization. That's more defensive. Fleet coordination from hunter-killer. Destroyers are better at killing subs, much better at killing subs, as are carriers. So this is for escort carriers. Torpedo primacy. This is the one that we switched to during the stream. We went from the patrol boats, which gives nighttime attack, sub-detection, torpedo attack, depth charge, and organization. Oh, a lot of organization, actually. Anti-air aircraft, I don't think that's so much of a problem for us. New school, convoy raiding. Torpedo cruiser gains torpedo attack and light attack. Light attack, torpedo attack, raiding efficiency, organization. That's tempting. Maybe we will do new school rather than patrol boat. Supply usage, max speed, fuel usage, retreat chance after initial stage, max range, factor reduction. Yeah, This is all kind of inland. We're going to go new school. This feels like a more advanced version of patrol boats. Lock. We'll be able to get another school soon enough. We'll probably do that with capital ships. Now that I have a couple of them. So since the game is free on Steam, so I can play multiplayer with a friend, can I play multiplayer with a friend if he has just the free version this weekend? As far as I know, Odium, I think so. I don't see what would stop you. So yeah, I think so. National focus completed. Fast attack craft. Excellent. So we could now go for the Philippine Naval Patrol. Double down on our naval assets. We could work towards the Treaty of Manila, which might also be a really good move, because I am kind of watching this nervously. Oh, they get... Overlord Lend-Lease gives them... Oh, reduces my autonomy. Sneaky sods. Alright. Let's go ahead and uncouple the peso and the dollar, which you can only do if you have initially pegged the peso to the dollar, but this gives us more factories and some more infrastructure. Pegging the peso to the dollar has worked out well for us, providing a needed level of stability for the currency. With independence looming, however, we need to uncouple them so that we have more control and flexibility of the monetary system, implementing such tools as quantitative easing where required. Quantitative easing literally just meaning money printing. Wait, am I short on coal? Oh, yeah. -2. Huh. Do I care? So, coal at the moment means I have 70% of my energy demands fulfilled, which is currently reducing my civilian factory, military factory output by 30%. So, yes, I do care. Buy some. $53 days, and then we'll look at getting the recovery ships. Although February 1941, this is the year when things tend to go a little bit heated. Careful, Japan, careful. Yeah, Japan seems to be struggling. Although, they have a naval invasion here in the south. Italian-Bulgarian military tech exchange. I do have some convoys available again, but I don't think I'm going to need them in the short term. Yeah, once these two complete, this should finish. I might put a save in here just in case, because they're going to overlap by 10 days. Meanwhile, we can get another naval doctrine, or we could do some more naval spirits. Close combat, screen attack, torpedo screen penetration. That could be good. Surface raiders. Retreat decision, fleet speed while retreating. Screening bonus to capital. Bad weather. Enemy size penalty. Visibility. Naval tripwire, actually. Enemy fleet size penalty. I'm going to be outnumbered in most battles. That could be quite potent. Let's do that one. And then I think we're going to want the interoperability so we can get that recovery. Like having toast and diluted juice for your supper. Nice. I got free pizza. Pizza being a great dinner. Free pizza. pretty much unbeatable. Let's go ahead and start training some more infantry divisions, although manpower is becoming an issue.
Ready to move.
But we are now up to 15 divisions, which is pretty nice. Okay, I need 4 of these. So Filipinization will buff Laurel, Roja, and Sumalong. We just fired Sumalong. Roja we're still using, Laurel we're not. Bicameral legislature gives us a temporary government reform thing and recovering economy, which is political power and construction. Sugar exports is even more consumer goods factories. And then we can make a choice about whether we want to break the Chinese monopoly or encourage Chinese immigration. Let's do the sugar exports. Sugar has been the bedrock of the economy for centuries and has gotten us through the very worst of the Great Depression, with exports remaining healthy. By signing lucrative trade deals with other nations, we can ensure we are best placed to capitalise on the growth of sugar as foundational to international cuisine and sodas. At least until Pepsi Max is invented. Can do the China ones while China still exists. I don't think China has a danger of not existing. At least not noticeably. So they are being pushed to the south. And there we go, transport ship. Support ships are now available. Let's go ahead and research that. Support ships will help maintain a superiority at sea by keeping our fleets afloat and effective even during prolonged deployments. So this gives us the support ship and the repair ship. Which can later be upgraded with these. We're actually not that far away from maybe wanting to do that. Get our defences up. April 1941. Right, we can actually afford masteries for these. Do I want to, though, or do I want to start adding some stuff like more artillery? That would require me to purchase it. I do still have subsidies for artillery. Though didn't we spend that whole subsidy? What are we still buying? I'm apparently embargoing Germany, I didn't even know. Not buying or selling anything, so no, I'm not. Interesting. Well, in that case, I would love to buy some more artillery from them. You please, America. Need to do that several times. And there we go, we completed that. So we've now got a dam in Manila. Yes, we do. Which is also reducing energy consumption in Manila, so all of these factories by 65%. So I might not even need to buy coal. No, I'll be one short. Oh, that's alright. Buy some steel though. Make sure our ship production remains healthy. We're now up to 20 dockyards, which is pretty good. It's pretty good. 23 destroyers, sorry, patrol boats in training. Icelandic-American cooperation is done. Communists involved in street clashes again. Let's get some more of that democracy. Greece has capitulated. Need more shipyards in Manila, please and thank you. I like the fact that the war in Africa is still ongoing. Although Italy is about to be pushed out of Ethiopia. That seems to be on its last legs. How many casualties have they suffered in that? Now, there's Barbarossa. The Allies have lost 2.3 million. Germany's lost 1.6 million, most of which being Italians. Fighting the UK and Africa, no doubt. Man, Congo's lost a lot, 29,000. Finnish continuation war also is happening. Germany breaks the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact. What? The non-aggression pact between Germany and the Soviet Union, a surprising development to begin with, has now, less surprisingly, fallen apart. Germany has attacked, breaking the pact, and returned once again to openly speaking of the Soviet Union as a menace that must be faced for their visions of the future to become a reality. The Soviet leadership is less than pleased, but perhaps less shocked by the betrayal than disappointed they didn't seize the opportunity first. Hitler lied? I know, right? Cool. Do I want to build more patrol boats? I actually kind of think I may need more convoys, so let's double down on that. Empire of Japan demands French Indochina, taking advantage of French weakness in light of the struggle in Europe. The Empire of Japan has coerced the new government into surrendering control over the colony in Indochina. So this has now happened, which usually helps Japan because it gives them a solid base of operations down here. We'll see if that remains true. I think it's time for us to either break the Chinese monopoly or encourage Chinese immigration. Chinese merchants have found their place in our society as the owners of shops and banks. However, such a hold over the critical services being held by foreigners. For our own security, we must ensure a more equitable distribution of the distribution networks. Which is true. A lot of the shopkeepers in the Philippines are Chinese. And a lot of the banks were Chinese owned. Like small town-sized banks, not the big megaliths that we know today. And it's actually in large part thanks to the Chinese community in the Philippines that the Philippine resistance was as effective as it was, because they basically financed it. And the shopkeepers were effectively managing black markets to undercut Japanese restrictions. Or you can encourage the Chinese immigration. Chinese merchants have proven to be exceptional entrepreneurial in setting up small businesses and shops. We should harness this influx of talent and money and encourage more growth in the sector. I mean, I like infrastructure and I like civilian factories. This gives me free factories, but I'm looking longer term here. And being able to build just more of them, I think, is more good. So we're going to encourage it. After all, it's just good business. Yeah, you know what? I'll take the free experience, why not? And I think I'm going to take the army logistics. It's just quite useful to have. Reduces attrition and the like. Training's going nicely. What about my infantry?
Listen up.
Still training. These two are basically ready to deploy. We should double check to see what we're lacking though.
Listen up.
Support equipment. Okay, let's see if I can buy some. I definitely feel like I've been using the international market way more heavily in this playthrough than I usually do. Oh, hello, Sweden. That's a lot of equipment. How about I buy like 300? And let's see if you have some more of this artillery I like so much. And how about some of them guns? Yeah. And we're again out of convoys. I'm out of fuel? Oh, hang on. Done. Do these guys need training? Oh boy, yes they do. Alright, off you go. Yeah, even my massive fuel reserve's not going to help with that. Wait, daily gain 48. I guess the Louisiana oil was... Oh, because I have no convoys! Oh! Interesting. Yeah, I should probably fix that. Sheikhdom of Kuwait has capitulated. Wait. Oh, to Iraq. And then I have convoys again and I have fuel again. It's fine. Don't panic. To get France destroyers in 1941. Amazing. Oh! Oh! Hi, Japan! Alright, things are going to kick off soon. And with that, I think it's time for me to start getting some escorts going. Convoy production output would actually be kind of useful. Yeah, alright. Let's take that. Because these ones are Casco convoys, they do actually use that. MIO. I'm gonna need to find a way of protecting that water line. And you lot did not have much of a chance to train, but so it goes. Back to port, that's fine. Might even need to tell you lot to stop training. Anyway, I didn't want to do like a full stream today. I just wanted to give you a little bit of a taster as to what the Philippines are like. And with war looming, I think what I'm going to do is save this for... I'll probably do another stream tomorrow, actually. I'm not 100% sure on that, so stay tuned to Discord. I will announce what I'm doing there. If I am going to stream again tomorrow, it will probably be roughly the same time as today. So, 8 PM. But yeah, mind the cliff. Because the fight against Japan is going to be starting relatively soon, and we will see if the 17 divisions that we managed to put together, which is actually way more than I usually manage. This has been a remarkably put together game, where I think we've actually done pretty well in achieving our objectives. Like, we haven't done much with the army, we haven't done anything with defenses, so this is going to be down to the navy, but hey, this is what I do. I do navy things. So yeah, thanks everyone for watching. Hope you've enjoyed this. If you have, be sure to hit that follow button to get notifications when I'm live again in the future. If you really enjoyed this and you would like to support the channel, then please do consider subscribing. Helps the channel out, lets me do more of this kind of content. You can, of course, check out the Patreon at patreon.com/MortarViking, and also the Discord, which is where the community hangs out. If you're watching on YouTube, then all of the stuff I just said is also true, but any of the details are in the description below. So yeah, tomorrow might be back again at 8, we shall see. Otherwise I will definitely be back on Saturday, where the entire weekend is just going to be playing Hoi. Although, unfortunately, I'm out on Saturday evening for a Thanksgiving thing, so it'll only be the during the day bit. But Sunday, I might just do another like extra long stream on Sunday. We shall see. The other thing I should probably say is No Compromise, No Surrender is out. You've been watching what I made. I'm Mordred. I've made the Philippines. Shall we raid Mastani? Let's see if Mastani is doing Hoi. Because I feel like we should probably raid other people who are doing no compromise, no surrender. He's doing EU. Let's see who else is doing no compromise. Let's see if anyone else is doing Philippines, most importantly. I was like, oh, Philippines. That's you, Mordred. You do Philippines. So many people are playing as Japan. Crazy. Trying to find one that's in English. There's remarkably few. Oh, Firefly. That's a name I recognise. Let's go raid Firefly. So head on over to Firefly, say hello from Mordred Viking. Love to see his chat lit up by the Viking Raid, which you can do by copying and pasting Viking Raid just like this. Or if you're a subscriber, you can bring in the longships just like this, but that will only work if you're a subscriber. Anyway, that's it for me. Thanks everyone for watching. I will see you probably maybe tomorrow, otherwise definitely Saturday. Hope you have a great evening. Show some love to Firefly, and I will see you all later. Until then, bye-bye.
Nepal and Bhutan, which, to be honest, I think I might just leave.